Week 6 on the CFL sked set to wrap up in Edmonton with the second of 3 meetings this season between the Lions and the Elks. BC taking the first game back in Week 1. Edmonton got into the win column last week right here at Commonwealth a week ago today, actually, against Ottawa. And Nathan Rourke returned and got BC back on track as well.
Yeah, definitely big for the Lions to get their quarterback back and get things back on track. Nathan Rourke, the 15th overall pick in the 2020 draft. At that time, he tied a record, tied Jesse Palmer as the highest chosen Canadian quarterback in CFL draft history. That just lasted a couple of years until 2022 when Trey Ford was chosen number 8 overall by the Edmonton Elks. Ford with his first win of the season, as you mentioned last week.
His head coach got that Gatorade shower last week. First win for Mark Killam. And Buck Pierce actually got his first win as a head coach against Edmonton. That was back in Week 1. This is their 4th road game of the season already for the BC Lions. They are 1-2 thus far. That one win coming last week, the walk-off in Montreal. Robert Carter, Seven McGee await the opening kickoff of this game early in the season, but a big one nonetheless. BC right now sitting 4th in the West at 2-3. Edmonton at 1-3, right behind them. 2 big points on the line, and we are underway on a Sunday afternoon at Commonwealth. And this will be taken by McGee. Brings it back up along the near sideline. Stop just shy of the 30, a 25-yard return. And our first look today at Nathan Rourke.
Yeah, Nathan Rourke, after missing the previous 2 games, returned to the BC Lions lineup, led a game-winning drive, culminated by a Sean White walk-off field goal last week in Montreal. Some ups and downs, certainly, for Rourke in that game, but finding his way in Buck Pierce's offense.
BC's offense is interesting this year because they have the lowest points for per game, but gain more yards than anybody else in the league. So something's got to give at some point here. We'll start with Butler in behind him. Rourke on the run to his right. Quick throw. That is to Katoy, who had to go down and get it. One of the weapons in this BC offense.
Yeah, a little shuffle along the offensive line due to injury. Michael Couture at center out of the lineup. Andrew Pearson gets the start. You saw Javon Katoy getting involved early here. He caught the pass that set up that aforementioned Sean White game-winning field goal last week.
Katoy caught all 3 targets last week, 38 yards, has a touchdown and over 200 yards already on the season. 7 yards that time. Rourke the 2nd and 3 early in this game. They'll go on the ground. Butler pushing ahead. It'll be close. I think he probably has it. But if he does, it would be just enough.
Yeah, James Butler just getting downhill in a hurry on this one. Riley Pickett, the fullback, with the cross block, and there you see he's met, not surprisingly, by Nick Anderson, among others, at the point of attack. But just enough for the first down for the BC running back.
Yeah, Brinkman and Anderson both getting a piece of him, but Butler, who's averaging 5.2 yards per carry, picks up the first down, and they'll work from the BC 40. Everybody slides over to the right of Rourke. Goes back to Butler again. And Butler a few yards on that first down, scamper to the left.
Defensively for the Elks, Robbie Smith is on the 6-game injured list with an elbow injury. Noah Taylor, the 2nd-year man, comes in his place at defensive end. Niles Morgan, longest-serving member of this Elks defense, the anchor at his middle linebacker spot. Cordell Jackson, we've seen him the last couple games back at the halfback spot that he played last year. He started the season playing down in the nickel linebacker position.
Edmonton's defense, most points allowed per game this season, most yards as well. 5 wide for Rourke. And that will be about a yard short as he goes back to Katoy. Tackle made by Nick Anderson, who had a quiet week last week with just 4.
And here you see Javon Katoy targeted again early here. A little bit of space to just sit it down at that first down marker. A little bit shy, creating a 3rd and short situation.
Looks like Jeremiah Mazzoli into the game. A big stop here for Edmonton. Take this ball away just inside at BC 50. Mazzoli trying to push it ahead, and secondary lunge should get the job done and keep this opening drive alive for the visitors. Buck Pierce watching on as his team. Now there's a flag on the field. We're going to sort this out, and Serezna is down. Well, this does not look good for Jake Serezna. You mentioned they already lost Robbie Smith, one of the biggest offseason acquisitions, and Serezna coming back to Edmonton.
Procedure. BC. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
We're going to step away as they take a look at the lower body of Jake Serezna. Lions likely to punt when we return. Well, it's not great news, but it's better than it could have been. As Jake Serezna walks off, he is now in the tent.
Yeah, it looked like he was in a lot of pain on the field. You'll see Serezna right in the middle of things there. You see his number 94 exposed. Just looked like he got his left leg caught in the pile a little bit there, with his weight awkwardly over top of somebody else.
So they'll take a look at him. Carl Meyer into punt after the penalty. 49.8 his average on the year. Dropped 6 of them inside the 10. There's a big leg here. Devon Leake over to take it, grabs it. 55-yard kick taken by Leake at the 12, and he is wrapped up immediately down the field. Konar with the special teams tackle, but there is a flag on the play. Here's a look at Trey Ford for the first time today.
During the return, illegal block, 25 Edmonton. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And Ford will be backed up a little bit.
And there you see the 1-3 record on the season for Trey Ford coming in, but there's been improvement game by game for him. Certainly very efficient operation of the offense in last week's victory over the Ottawa Red Blacks.
He's at 71.6% on the year. 50 yards away from 1,000, 5 touchdowns, a couple interceptions. Starts here on his own 9. High snap, goes and gets it, tucks it into the belly of his running back. But Emma was all over Justin Rankin.
As we take a look at this Edmonton offense, Mark Evans once again starts at left guard. Mark Cordy bumping in from guard to center in the absence of David Beard. And for this Edmonton offense, Justin Rankin is a guy that I think most people feel is the key, quite frankly. 174 yards from scrimmage for him last week. A huge role played by Rankin in the victory.
They lose a yard, 2nd and 11 from the 8. 3 options out to the left for Ford. Escapes the pocket, now he's going to take off. Trey Ford looking for a 1st down. He's got it with a slide out of harm's way just in time. 1st down for the home side.
He hasn't run as much in 2025 as we've seen in past years, but here you see that gap to the outside. The end Betts got upfield, creating a little bit of separation between he and the tackles in terms of trying to contain Ford. And the Elks quarterback shows off his acceleration, running away from the pursuit there.
What have you thought of him not running the ball much this year?
I understand that, partly given injury history and partly learning an offense and trying to establish himself as a passer. But interesting to note, among Canadian Football League quarterbacks, you expect to see Trey Ford atop the rushing list. Nathan Rourke leads the way in rushing among quarterbacks. Trey Ford is 5th. So a change from what you might anticipate, but as he just demonstrated, it's not like he can't still do it.
Rourke missed 2 games as well. Yeah. Still leads all quarterbacks.
Yeah, it was the Lions' leading rusher last week against the Owls.
Yeah, 43 yards last week. Did Rourke. Here's Ford throwing this time. Finds Dunbar, his favorite target so far this season. And that's another first down for Edmonton as they improve their field position, starting deep in their own end.
Yeah, I really like the reacquisition of Stephen Dunbar by Edmonton this offseason. Guy who started his career in Hamilton, came to Edmonton for a year, back to Hamilton for a year, but number of big-name free agent receivers in this class. Obviously, Kenny Lawler, Geno Lewis, most talked about. Dalton Schoen, also part of that. Dom Rhymes changing teams in the offseason. Dunbar kind of flew under the radar.
Sneaky good kick. This one is bobbled by Dunbar. Let's take a look at BC's starting defense.
Yeah, once again, Tomasi Lalile starts at defensive tackle. Dwayne Hendricks out of the lineup. Once again, Deontay Williams has taken over the nickel linebacker spot, has done a very good job for Mike Benavides' defensive unit. And keep an eye on Robert Carter Jr., the rookie playing the field corner spot already with an interception. The early going here in his freshman CFL season.
Yeah, he's fit in nicely so far in that BC defense. He's at the top of your screen against Dunbar. Ford from the pocket, pump fake, nothing yet. Now pressure on. He escapes and he's got a ton of room. Ford's got a first down again, midfield with a slide. And the legs of Trey Ford. Too much to handle for the Lions defense. 18 more.
You'll see four-man rush here, the defense dropping off. It just creates so much space for Trey Ford to roam. See the levels created off to the top of the screen, offensive right side of the field, just nothing but green turf in front of him to go.
Trey Ford had 20 yards in the last 2 games on the ground. He's got 34 on 2 carries in this one. And now he's going to look for a deep shot down the field. Is that held onto? Is it intercepted by Peters? Wow! That was bobbled and then taken away by Gary Peters. Looked like Dunbar was going to come down with it, but Peters wins the battle.
Babe, wake up. I know you up. Love you, girl. We just getting started.
The man of the moment, Gary Peters, had Stephen Dunbar on the play. Pretty good route by Dunbar. A little fake out, and then he's going deep. He's got a step. But you'll see the throw comes up a little bit short. Dunbar's going to have to wait for it just at the edge of your screen, which leaves Peters, the veteran, in great position. And as they wrestle for the ball on the way down, really the advantage is Peters, who's still on his feet, as Dunbar's not in a position of strength, having already gone down to the turf trying to come back and get that one.
Second interception of the season for Peters. Third one thrown by Ford. Here's Rourke. Gets it away, and Berryhill's got some room. He'll take it out beyond the 30. That is his first catch of the ball game. 22 yards.
And a nice little bit of play action on this one. Going to see the fake and see Rourke escape to the outside. Berryhill works to a hole in the inside. Just easy hook up there. Pick up that first down. Give themselves a little bit of breathing room.
Berryhill had that huge game in week 1, the victory against Edmonton. 105 yards. 2 touchdowns in that game. 6 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Back to Berryhill again. And this time he's wrapped up by Bynum after a short pickup.
Yeah, big splash to start the season for Stanley Berryhill. I know a lot of people had their questions about the Lions receiving corps coming into the season. But Berryhill, young veteran on this team, off to a terrific start.
Taking over the role of Hollins essentially as the deep threat in this offense. 2nd and 5. Elks show pressure, then back off. Rourke, time from the pocket, gets it away. And that's his running back, James Butler, who's got a first down on the far sideline. Nathan Rourke, 5 of 5 to start this game.
Yeah, nice protection here from the BC offensive line, allowing Nathan Rourke to work through his progression there. You saw him looking deep before checking it down to the back, Butler in the flat. You're going to see Butler just leak it out to that sideline, recognizing where the marker is, moving the sticks.
Butler just one catch last week in that win in Montreal. Rourke gets this one away quickly. Back to Berryhill again, and he's eventually driven back by Anderson and Metier. So Nathan Rourke, 6 of 6. Did enough to get them the win last week in his return.
Yeah, and a game that for the BC Lions, I think when they review that one, plagued by a lot of penalties. You know, early on in particular, I found with Rourke in his return, just getting that timing back, that they missed a couple of deep shots in the first half of that game, that they maybe left some points out on the field, but found his groove late and looks like he's picked up right where he left off.
Need 4 more yards here. They've got it. It's Catoy, turns it upfield, and the big fella takes it down inside the 40. That's his 3rd catch of the game. This one goes for 23 yards.
Yeah, Catoy comes into this game as the Lions' 3rd leading receiver behind Keon Hatcher and Justin McInnes. But he's been the busiest one thus far as the Lions have relied largely on a quick passing game to start this one.
Catoy now with 22 catches on the season. That one, of course, goes for a first down, and the BC Lions are marching here late in the opening quarter. Still scoreless at Commonwealth in Edmonton. Everybody clears out. Rourke, far side. Back to Berryhill again. And he is thrown out of bounds by Ford.
Lions going with 6 offensive linemen, beefing up that protection a little bit. And again, you know, we'll see what impact the effectiveness of this quick passing game has on the Edmonton defense. See if they try to creep up a little bit to try and take that away, and if that leads to Rourke looking to take a shot over the top.
Nathan Rourke moving the ball here and not yet involving Justin McInnes or Keon Hatcher. Hatcher's been targeted 43 times already this season. McInnes 36 himself. They've both been quiet so far. We'll step away as they take a look at Metier. From chef to spy, he's on a mission to fix the kitchen. Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service. All new Wednesdays on CTV. Stream next day on Crave. Metier to the sideline. A little bit of a limp as he walks off with the athletic therapists. And good news is Serezna has returned to the field. So Edmonton dodging a bullet there with Serezna's injury.
Yeah, very fortunate. Obviously, it's the injuries getting to that time in the season. It's not just here in Edmonton, but injuries start to pile up a little bit.
6-play drive continues. There's a flag as they hand it off to Butler. A couple of flags come out here. Edmonton's defense really can't afford to have any losses to injuries. They only have 2 sacks all season, and they do not yet have an interception going into week 6.
Yeah, looking for somebody to make some of those difference-making plays.
Offside, Edmonton. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
Certainly one of the things that has stood out in Edmonton, you look during free agency, as you'll see some movement right in the middle of the defense. I believe that was Jared Brinkman.
Yep.
That twitched a little early, but Edmonton looked to beef up their Canadian depth in the offseason, and most of this season they've gone with 11 Canadian starters, required to only start 7. 3 of those guys, including Metier, who just went off, have been hurt. They've been able to replace them with Americans.
Hand it off to Butler, and he's taken down immediately. Niles Morgan got there quickly from the middle of that Edmonton defense.
As he so often does, the running joke that Niles Morgan is racing against Nick Anderson his wingman to see who can get there first to make the play.
It's those two guys most of the time. Niles Morgan coming in this game, 17 tackles. Nick Anderson had 29, which was good for third in the league. Big second down here. Second and 9 for Rourke. Three options out to his right. Looks that way first. Climbs the pocket. Guns it in there. Incomplete to Berryhill, and that is the first incompletion of the game for Nathan Rourke.
And you'll see as Rourke looks to try and step up here. Brandon Barlow coming from the bottom of your screen has his leg wrapped up, so he can't really step into this one and direct it the way he would like. Ball comes out a little wobbly, little low as Berryhill's trying to get there.
Last week's hero, the walk-off winner, steps in. He's hit 22 in a row. Spent some good years here in Edmonton. That one is up dead straight, right down the middle. 23 in a row for Sean White on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Edmonton. Well, just a sensational play earlier in this game. Second interception of the year for Gary Peters as he wins that battle. For more, let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
Yeah, Dusty. Gary Peters, a lot to offer this team. Even though he's 33 years old, he runs his Ironman streak up to 110 straight games, and he gets that interception to help lead to some points for the Lions. Now, through his years, he's built up a ton of wisdom, and he says he takes pride in imparting it on the young guys and the rookies, making himself always available to them. He says keep an eye on Robert Carter Jr., who he says is ahead of where Peters was when he started his career here in Edmonton back in 2015. Guys, he says he might even get into coaching at some point, and if he does, he's old school, and he says you run on and off the field, take advantage of every single day, and every single moment would be his motto.
Just want to stay around the game, right?
That's it. Yeah, I had a great chat with Gary Peters. Really enjoyed talking to him about some of his experiences in the game.
That interception he had earlier in this one, probably one of the best of his career. Now here's Rankin, had to turn it back, but finds positive yardage on first down.
Yeah, as Tom mentioned, you know, Gary Peters likes sharing that knowledge with the young guys. And he said, you know, a lot of guys, veteran guys, you get into training camp, young guys are theoretically there to take your job. And some guys don't want to share what they know, don't necessarily want to help the young guys. But he's a big team guy and just believes that as a veteran, that's part of his responsibility, is to help bring those guys along.
Ford, another deep shot. Rankin down the field, can't get there. Had some room, but Ford overthrows him, and it falls incomplete. Brings up third down, and Cody Grace will come on to kick it away.
Justin Rankin is going to work out of the slot here. Inside receiver closest to the formation, working towards the corner. And I love seeing this from the Edmonton Elks. Remember, Justin Rankin, though a running back by trade through his experiences in indoor football and so on, actually came to camp originally last year as a receiver. Got released and came back, given a chance to play his natural position of running back.
McGee takes it just outside the 25, 40-yard kick, and he picks his way back out beyond the 35-yard line for the Lions. Over 170 yards of total offense for Rankin last week.
Yeah, 105 on the ground, 69 through the air, a pair of touchdowns for Rankin.
His first 2 touchdowns of the season last week. It's got to be weird, though, to be cut right out of one position. They said, hey, we're going to bring you back, but we want you to play here.
Yeah.
It's worked out, though, because that was Kevin Brown's job last year.
Yeah.
Rankin looked good, ended up taking away. Plus, they have Javon Leak. BC has not had a lead after the opening quarter all season. They've kind of made it hard on themselves. They have one right now. There's Hatcher for the first time today. A bobble, but a recovery, and he's able to hang on before the tackle is made by Kenneth Logan Jr.
Yeah, that bobble might have cost him a yard or two after the catch. But good recovery by Hatcher to stay with that one. Get what he could.
He has been targeted a ton, 43 coming into this game, only caught 21 of them, just shy of 50%. With those sure hands of Hatcher, it's kind of a surprising stat, but he hangs on to that one. They give him 8 yards, so it's 2nd and 2 right here at the end of the opening quarter. Rourke, looks like he's keeping this one. He's got a first down, and he'll step out of bounds close to that BC 50. And that will do it for the first quarter of action, and it is the BC Lions in their 4th road game of the season. They have a lead, and they have the ball close to midfield when the second quarter returns here at Commonwealth. BC with a 3-0 lead on Edmonton after the first quarter. It seemed like a lot happened for a game that's only 3-0, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did seem like there was a lot of action. A couple of big runs for Trey Ford. BC moving the ball well offensively, and what has kind of been the story of their season when you think about it. You mentioned earlier, Dustin, how they lead the league in yards, but struggling to put points on the board, and it has shown through the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think the one thing that they like so far in this game is that they've taken care of the football so far in this battle between Canadian quarterbacks.
Yeah, there you see a little bit of the history and maybe the evolution of the game being illustrated there as a lot of years waited between starts between two opposing Canadian quarterbacks prior to the season opener this year, but not so much now.
Rourke pressure in his face, and he is double teamed and taken down. First there, Nick Anderson. That's his first sack of the season.
You're going to see Nick Anderson coming from his weak side linebacker position on the blitz. Just unblocked. He and Noah Taylor both ended up free off that edge with the protection up front sliding to the left.
Second and 16 after a loss of 6, 5 for 7 on second down. Serezna got free. They dump it off to Butler. Can he find some block? He does, pushing it ahead, and that might just be enough for a first down. Great play call as they look like they're close to picking up. Might be just short.
Yeah, you're going to see Jake Serezna, the first man, and this is just nice execution on the screen where you want to block your guys, let them go. I think Serezna might have gotten a little too close for comfort there for Nathan Rourke, but you saw Butler with the posse set up in front of him here. Getting the job done to get close to that first down marker.
3rd and inches. Mazzoli back into the game. Got it done in the first quarter. We'll see if he can do it here as well, and he does. That should be enough. Second of 3 meetings between these two clubs. And Nathan Rourke looked pretty good in week 1.
Yeah, big start to the season for him, and a little bit of what we've seen today. A lot of play action type stuff in the backfield. Rourke moving the pocket a little bit, delivering those strikes down the field.
Already 100 yards passing in this game, and they work from the 49 of Edmonton. Rourke escapes the pocket, dumps it back to Butler, and Butler's got a first down. Big game early here from Butler.
Yeah, a little bit of a dangerous pass here, as it looked like that one may have proven to be a lateral when you see Nathan Rourke start to step up. Line of scrimmage is the 49-yard line. He gets rid of it just as he crosses the 50. As Butler runs onto it. It's good awareness, as Rourke didn't even look that way until he was throwing the ball.
Back to Butler again. And Butler Butler goes up the middle. Serezna able to hang on to him with the help of Barlow.
Well, I mentioned off the top, Niles Morgan, the longest serving member of the Elks defense. Now, technically, Jake Serezna has as many years as a member of the Elks, but interrupted by his stint in Toronto last season.
Lions look for 4 more here. Rourke, another quick hitter, and that is broken up. There's a flag. Thought it was timed pretty well. Kobe Williams making the play. Let's see what that flag was. Killam's already checking for his challenge flag there, I think.
Slot versus halfback. Here, Aberhart looking for the quick slant
Pass
to get underneath.
Edmonton number 0. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I don't know about that.
I'd kind of like to see that flag get picked up. But
Killam wondering if he's going to challenge this. Is he not going to? Doesn't look like it. Close call. All right, Lions first down here. Rourke gets it away. That's Hatcher. And they'll eventually take him down. It was Leonard Johnson who finished the job. We've not heard from McInnes yet. They begin his zone on the field here as they're in the red zone. Just 47% in the red zone this season. They'll dump it off. Couture turns, trying to stay on his feet, and he does. Couture towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown Lions! Javon Couture, a 16-yarder, his second of the season.
we saw the screen run effectively earlier to James Butler. Here they're going to come back to the other side. Javon Couture is able to do this because he's so often involved in blocking schemes, and as a tight end here working across the formation, they let that rush come upfield. Couture comes in across behind them. Terrific job fighting off the contact of the first would-be tackler and making his way into the end zone.
Sean White out for one more. And not pretty, but he's able to knock it through. Yeah! 10-play, 75-yard drive that finishes in the hand of big Javon Couture. Bullies his way to the end zone.
What's up, man? You know what time it is, man? Still early. We got to lock in, though. Shout out my mama Dukes, man. I love you.
And Javon Couture, the man of the moment. You're going to see him work across the formation. The idea here is you're going to let the rush come upfield a little bit. And Couture gets in behind that first level of defenders. See Jalen Garnes trying to track him in coverage, but had to hesitate as Couture kind of got caught up in traffic there. Excellent job after the catch to find his way to the end zone.
He had a 7-catch game earlier in the season, well on the way to matching that here this evening. Now Javon Leake on the return. Head of steam, but tripped up just shy of the 40 by Riley Pickett. BC Lions dancing at Commonwealth. Edmonton's first win last week at home here against Ottawa. Rankin, a huge part of it. Touchdown through the air, another one on the ground, over 170 yards. For more on him, let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
Dusty, Justin Rankin quickly becoming a fan favorite here in Edmonton, especially with weeks like he had last Sunday where he had a big game. And his smile is infectious. He's always in good spirits. And, you know, that love for football, we asked him, is that something that you've always had? He said, no, not necessarily. It was his dad who brought that back into his life. And it was actually last year when he got cut by the Elks. His dad said go back when they called him, and it's been a success thus far.
He's been a big part of it. His team gets in a groove where they can establish the run. Deep shot there to Mathers from Ford, who was on the run, and a little bit too much for the big fella.
Yeah, certainly as you alluded to, getting that running game going. You remember it was last year. You know, when Rankin came back, Javon Leake started getting some reps at running back as well. Kevin Brown still in the mix. But that monster run game they had, I thought, really played to the strengths of Trey Ford. And, you know, obviously Ford's ability to move the pocket, to run the ball himself, when you have the misdirection of having to defend other run plays.
Ford missing Julian Grant. Trey Ford has opened this game 1 of 6, while Nathan Rourke is 13 of 14. So 2 passing games, night and day so far in this one.
Keep an eye on the trailing receiver coming out of the cluster here. Throw just a little bit to the inside. But yeah, you mentioned Trey Ford's numbers, and you know, at least 3 of those have been deep shots. They're trying to stretch the field a little bit, but just have not been able to connect. 1 underthrown, 2 overthrown.
Towering kick from Grace that was let fly from his 30, 48-yarder. McGee on the return, getting tackled by Shackle. Nathan Rourke in a bit of a groove right now. The only incompletion, that one to Berryhill when they were holding his leg. Yeah. Really the only time. Other than that, it's been a pretty clean pocket for Rourke so far.
Yeah, a combination of play calling and just the protection in general has put Rourke in pretty good positions here. Well-timed screens have been successful for them.
Butler again finds that second level. Still pushing ahead. Will be stopped short of the first down, but close to 9 on the play.
Yeah, you have that quick passing game going. Sometimes that can lead to the defensive linemen being a little light in their stances as they're thinking about quickness and trying to get upfield. You respond with a couple of run plays, let the O-line dig in and move them off the ball.
Butler hanging on to that ball for dear life. Nick Anderson trying to yank it away. 70% on second down so far tonight. Back to Butler again. Heavy collision, but he does have the first down. Nathan Rourke. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised by his start tonight.
Yeah, it seems to be in keeping with past performances against Edmonton, as you see, undefeated in his previous 4 starts, over 300 yards in 3 of those. Of course, that touchdown to interception ratio, the completion percentage over 80%, all kind of the same way things have trended in the first half of this ballgame.
Edmonton's defense this season, that one's going to be up for grabs. Intercepted, fumble, but they are on it. Serezna took it away originally, and Tyrell Ford ends up on it. And I have to say, I feel like we jinxed Nathan Rourke on that one.
Well, we certainly did. But, you know, we'll see if Jake Serezna from his D tackle spot, right side of your screen, off the rebound. Caught it, tucked it under the arm, and it gets knocked out. It all happened pretty quickly. But to me, certainly, football move to tuck it, took a step or two before Rourke is able to strip him. But, you know, I just want to ask the question, Dustin, who in the pool, who had Jake Seresna getting the Elks' first interception of the season?
Not me. I don't know if anybody would have, but that is their first. So he has one of their 2 sacks, and now he's got their only interception.
He does it all.
And really, without doing much on offense so far in this game, Edmonton, the chance inside the red zone. Hand it off to Leak. He's upended and taken down by Alway. Let's get another look at this interception.
Yeah, Jake Seresna again got that 3-man front. He's got him moved out on the edge a little bit. And right place, right time, as that one gets popped up in the air.
Second and 7 for Trey Ford. 3 options out to his left. Ford gets it away to Dunbar. Dunbar stopped just short of the end zone. It was close. This might be Cody Fajardo territory for Edmonton.
Yeah, Fajardo onto the field, bringing a few big friends with him for the short yardage situation. Nice job there by Dunbar finding the hole and getting back on that football after a little bobble.
Cody Fajardo, 3 rushing touchdowns so far this season. Looking for a 4th, trying to push it through. Is he there? Touchdown Edmonton! Was worth the wait as the officials came to a decision. But the Elks are on the board.
Cody Fajardo with his 4th touchdown of this young 2025 season. Leading this short yardage goal line unit.
Had some problems last week in short yardage situations, but not there. Fajardo gets it done. Luca boy, Dada loves you. Shout out for his boy. Blanchard in to make it a 3-point game. That's what he does. Jake Seresna giving Edmonton life with an interception, their first of the season, finished off by Cody Fajardo as the veterans get it done for the Elks. The 153rd Open at Royal Portrush is right around the corner. Get ready as it begins with first-round action on Thursday at 7 Eastern, 4 a.m. Pacific on TSN.
You'll be up to watch that, eh?
I love watching golf very early. Well, Seresna gets injured, comes back, gets the interception, and finally gives his team a little bit of life. Big kick. McGee takes it just outside his own end zone. Takes it back out beyond the 20. No further. Middlemost. And Dublenko in on that tackle.
And Nathan Rourke looks to rebound. As the Elks put up 7 points off that turnover.
Do you think that interception hits differently because it was off of a helmet and it wasn't a bad read or anything like that?
Listen, I think Jake Seresna still has bragging rights in the Elks locker room over all the DBs.
He does.
That he picked off a pass before any of them. Be out there doing ball drills, day 1 practice.
Less than 5 to go, second quarter. Back to Butler. And he'll take it just out beyond the Lions' 25. Butler, ton of work here in BC. He's been a good fit coming back. Nobody else really gets any touches of the ball on the ground, and he's heavily involved in the passing game as well.
And he and Nathan Rourke complement each other so well, as you see the way the Lions move the pocket off of some of the play action, the run fakes. Rourke a threat to both run the ball, but also, as we've seen in this ball game, doing a nice job throwing it on the move.
Rourke looking for 5 more. Gets it away. Big pop at the end of it. But he finds Eberhardt for the first time today.
Eberhardt lined up tight on the inside here, is going to work across.
Rourke looking for 5 more. Gets it away. Big pop at the end.
Eberhardt taking a little bit of a pop there as he's working through traffic. Third-year man, kind of started to find regular duty in the receiving corps last season. You know, and as I mentioned about Stanley Berryhill earlier, similar situation with Eberhardt, where they're kind of counting on these guys to take the next step in their development here in 2025.
That's Nick Anderson coming off the field. He's the one who laid the hit on Eberhardt, and he was slow to get up, then bounced up when the officials came over. Now I think the league has actually said, hey, let's go get a look at him. So he comes out, he goes straight to the 10. First and 10. Lions on their own 41 here. Rourke on the run to his right. And just throws it out of bounds as he ran out of room. Everybody was going after him that time.
Yeah, Brandon Barlow in pursuit. Rourke looking downfield, but as you said, just ran out of space to find somebody. Doesn't want to take a hit, doesn't want to take that sack. So he gets rid of that ball just to protect the field position. And a good job there by Barlow, recognizing he's at the sidelines to let go and not hang on and drag him down.
He let him go, didn't he? Yeah, that could have been dangerous, but Barlow let him go when they hit the sidelines. Second and 10 for Rourke. 4-man rush from Edmonton. Rourke bouncing around the pocket. Down the field. Berryhill, he's got it. Berryhill coming back to the ball. There's a flag back inside the 30. But Rourke, I think, is walking up the field
Major
in conversation
foul,
with Serezna.
roughing the passer. Edmonton number 94. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So Serezna, eventful opening half. 33-yard catch by Berryhill, his 5th of the half.
Yeah, Serezna looked a little surprised that he was the one getting flagged on the play.
Watch this, Serezna trying to push through. Maybe a little late, but Berryhill came back to it.
After not wearing Chucks on the sidelines last night in Hamilton, I've been told, don't come into the studio without them. Classic TSN. Ches, I get you all your $1,500 products. You want to put them up?
No, but those are nice. I like those.
Retro. Old school.
I had no idea Ches spends that much on shoes.
That's Ches.
He's a fancy boy. This is taken down to the 15. James Butler's 9th carry of the game. Well, for Edmonton here at this point, if you could hold BC to a field goal, that would be ideal. Edmonton trailing by 3. Trey Ford has completed 2 passes, and they're only down by 3 points for now, but Rourke's going to try to change that up right here. 2.5 to play in the opening half. 3 options out to the left for Rourke. He'll give it to Butler. Butler picks his way down, pushing towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown Lions. James Butler does it himself. And they open up a lead once again here on the road.
And just a strong north-south run there from James Butler. You see the backfield action always includes Rourke holding the end with that sprint action, but Butler is taking it right into the teeth of the defense, offensive line. Doing a terrific job getting off the ball on that one.
Let me know when I'm live.
Sean White for a 10-point lead once again. Chip shot up and through.
I know I need it. I'm doing that.
James Butler, 85 total yards of offense in this half. That drive, 6 plays,
Yeah, one, come on.
88 yards,
Turn me up.
less than 3 minutes.
Physical effort from Butler once he gets into the secondary, but there you see everybody at the line of scrimmage is locked up, bodies on bodies. As I mentioned, Rourke takes care of one with his sprint out action. That's going to hold the end, who's got to contain him so he can't collapse to get in on the run by Butler. Culminated all with a big celly with the boys.
Third rushing touchdown of the season for Butler. Carl Meyer hammers this away. Leak takes it at the 10. Javon Leak trying to find some space. Jumps through a hole and takes it just outside the 30. Still over 2 minutes to work here for Trey Ford, but has to get something going. He's only completed passes in this game, 2 of them to Dunbar. Nobody else just yet.
Yeah, this is part of the progression for Trey Ford. The thing that you're looking for is consistency. You think about how sharp he was last week in the win over Ottawa. Only 2 incompletions from the Elks quarterback in that ball game. But just here struggling to connect.
Start on their own 32, down by 10. Fakes the handoff. Now he's going to take off. Ford secures the ball at the end of the run, gets 8 yards, and it'll be second and extremely manageable for the Double E.
And play call here, looking to get his confidence.
I'd like to welcome our viewers who are just joining us on TSN 3 after a little CPL action. Ford has that batted away, and it will be blown dead. Good read by Deontay Williams, and that one never had a chance. Now 3rd and 2. Gonna have to kick it away again. This is the third 2 and out at half.
And a little regrouping, no doubt, will take place for the Elks at halftime. First down play, letting Trey Ford use his legs. Because they're just trying to get him into some sort of a comfort zone here. You know, but part of the challenge being, as we've said, a lot of Edmonton's success offensively comes when they're able to get that run game going. And there hasn't been a lot of that for them in terms of Justin Rankin and Javon Leak so far.
McGee with a flag on the return. Staying on his feet, and now he's going to find some space. 7 McGee down to the 40, the 30. Nobody's going to catch him, and it'll be 6 for 7. But there's a flag lurking back just inside the 20. 2 of them.
And it looked like this
During the
occurs.
return, illegal block, BC number 1. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Gary Peters.
And here you see the veteran DB. Look at the defender in coverage, turning his back, though. You saw him. He recognized that Peters was there. and basically positioned himself to draw that. The great irony being McGee went the other way. That even if Peters hadn't touched him, it wouldn't have impacted the play. But in hockey terms, I would say there may have been some embellishment.
A little bit of embellishment. That was Leonard Johnson who drew the flag. Wipes a 92-yard return off the board and puts him at the 9. Hand it off to Butler. Good chunk, right up the middle, 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, and give Leonard Johnson credit for the savvy. I mean, he just saved his team a touchdown. They're, again, recognizing that Peters was there and that he wasn't in maybe ideal position to make that block, but making sure the officials saw it.
Our look wasn't slow-mo, wasn't it? I mean, a little bit,
yeah,
maybe more difficult to call full speed, but
yeah, no question.
3 left, 3 right, one of them wide open. That's Hatcher, and he'll take it for a first down beyond the 25 with 65 seconds on the clock for Nathan Rourke, who's closing in on a 200-yard first half.
Yeah, again, quick hitter, good protection, get the ball out. Let Keon Hatcher do his thing.
Rourke this time fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, slings it in there, and that will be a 200-yard first half. And that is the first catch of the game for Justin McInnes.
McInnes, the league's leading receiver a year ago.
Butler takes it from his quarterback, finds a little bit of room, down to the 50. Butler puts on the brakes, walks around a defender, and takes it into field goal range inside the 35 with 41 seconds left in the half.
And absolutely love this run from James Butler. We've seen everything north-south all game. Here he sells it up into the line of scrimmage, but does a great job bouncing it to the perimeter. Recognizing that's where the soft spot is in that defense. Huge gain, get in field goal range.
37 yards for Butler. Rourke this time, tight window, finds Hatcher down to the 10 before he is tripped up as the BC Lions having their way with the Edmonton defense late in the opening half.
And this was Keon Hatcher, a play earlier, doing a nice job with the block on Terrell Ford to help spring James Butler. And he is immediately rewarded on the next play by his quarterback, Nathan Rourke.
Hatcher, his 4th catch of the game for 49 yards. James Butler has 93 yards on the ground and 3 catches for 35 and a touchdown. He's having a huge half. Of course, he famously, Butler, a few years ago had that 4-touchdown game against Edmonton in a season opener. So he's been a bit of a Elks killer himself.
Yes, I think you and I did that game.
Did we do
on
that
the
one?
West Coast?
Yes.
Where I think we had James Butler like on pace for like 144 touchdowns.
Early in that one, yeah. All right, so that was some friendly fire here. But Logan is walking off. Now Logan's in the game because Metier left earlier. Now we'll probably see more of Leonard Johnson. Back to Butler. Wanted to kick it to the outside, had to turn it back in, and eventually Barlow stopped him.
I think Brandon Barlow, among others, deciding they've had just about enough of James Butler in this ball game. He's been a monster through the opening 30 minutes.
2nd and goal for Rourke. Clock ticking inside 15. Looks to his left, throws to his left, and he's got it! Berryhill to the end zone, touchdown Lions! A devastating blow for Edmonton late in the half.
Round the wheels on the west, go round and round. All through the
a catchy tune.
Adding singing to the dancing. Up in their game here, the Lions offense. Wheels on the Lions offense are going round and round here. Through 2 quarters, Nathan Rourke with a strike just through the hands of Cordell Jackson to Stanley Berryhill.
He almost had it, didn't he?
He sure did.
Sean White once more. Full control of the Lions on the road here.
Arizona, baby. Yeah, forget that flag.
That's my boy Tate. I love you, baby. Let's go. That's your boy Stat. I do it.
4th touchdown of the season for Berryhill. Caps off a 7-play, 101-yard drive that took less than 90 seconds.
Yeah, there's Berryhill. Watch how close Cordell Jackson is getting this ball. Plays it well. Nice break coming underneath. It looks like that ball just literally goes through the hands of the Elks defender.
Oh, it did. Right through the hands. A lot of zip on that one from Rourke, who is on fire today. 19 of 22, 243 yards. Almost at a 500-yard pace here. 2 touchdowns. One to Katoy, the other to Berryhill. In special teams, spark Edmonton late here. Arkell Smith will not get away. Good tackle down the field by Gagné. Now we talk a lot about adjustments at halftime, but if you're Edmonton, which side of the ball do you need to adjust more?
Yeah, you know, I mean, the thing to me in this day and age, we do so often talk about halftime adjustments, but in the world of technology, I mean, you're trying to make adjustments all the time, right? Things are so much more instantaneous now, but they just have not been able to keep pace with the BC Lions in this ball game.
Trey Ford takes a knee, and the BC Lions will take a 24-7 lead. 21 points in the second quarter, 14 of those coming in the final 4 minutes. And really, the momentum started to go in BC's side of the game right here. Trey Ford, first drive of the game after a couple of nice runs. Heaves one up for Dunbar, and Gary Peters takes it away, his 2nd interception of the year. He's standing by with our Tom Gazzola.
Gary, a lot going on in that first half. How much of a relief is it to see Nathan and the offense go and get a touchdown after that penalty?
Oh, it's always great. I mean, playing defense, you know, you want to see the offense stay on the field as long as possible. In the last couple of weeks, we've been starting really, really slow. So for us to come out here and start a lot faster, it's amazing for us.
You helped get the offense going with that pick. What'd you see on that play, and what can you say about your defense in that first half?
Last week I ran a same kind of post route and kind of I let him inside of me, but he dropped it. So this week he kind of gave me the same kind of release, and I just must have remembered that the route was coming, went up and made a play. Usually that's what I try to do, but I mean, 24-7, I mean, it's a good lead, but you know how the CFL goes, so we're not going to take our foot off the gas.
Appreciate it, Gary.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tom.
All right, there's Gary Peters, and the Lions up by 17 at the half. Let's send it to Matt and the panel.
Welcome back to Edmonton on a pretty good Sunday afternoon, unless, of course, you're looking at the scoreboard and you're an Elks fan. Lions lead 24-7, over 340 yards of offense for the Lions. They've dominated time of possession. Jake Ceresna of the Elks stands by with Tom Gazzola.
Jake, I know that probably wasn't an ideal first half for you guys. What do you got to do to slow up Nathan Rourke in the offense there from BC?
Yeah, we got to put that one behind us, focus on the 30 minutes in front. We just got to play sound football. We got to play together. Weren't really doing that in a half. A lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties. So we just got to clean it up, play good physical football, and we'll be all right.
How are you holding up? Because you hurt your leg, you come back, you get the first pick of the season for the team and get the offense going the other way.
Yeah, he popped out. They popped it back in for me. They said everything was good, so just went back out there, just trying to make a play for our team, and you know, we're going to need a lot more of those to get back in this game.
All right, Jake, thanks for your time.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Oh, he's right. They are going to need to make some plays to get back in this football game, and I guess conversation and question might be who will be making those plays for Edmonton. Cody Fajardo. They went to him a couple of times in weird situations last week. Haven't seen him yet. Trey Ford, 2 of 8, 28 yards and an interception. Here's Leak on the return. And he has nowhere to go. Forced out of bounds on the near sideline. And they'll stick with Trey Ford for now. Let's take a look at his opening half.
Yeah, and if we want positive and negative, I mean, the positive is what Ches says he wants to see a little more of. Trey Ford using his legs, running that football, did that effectively when he saw the opportunity to do so. The struggle came in throwing the football, and certainly having some difficulties in terms of accuracy with the deep ball.
On the run, Betts trying to track him down, and he'll eventually get him on the far sideline. Ford managing to find 5 yards on a run to his right.
We know that Trey Ford can absolutely fly, and this is a great matchup because Matthew Betts' greatest strength to me is his first step, his short space quickness. You get a bit of a glimpse here. He does a pretty good job tracking down one of the fastest players in the CFL.
Justin Rankin just 3 carries in the first half for 4 yards. Trey now 4 for 47. 2nd and 5 here. Be an empty backfield. 4-man rush by BC out in the flat. Gittens Jr. And immediately Robert Carter Jr. is there to cut him down after he makes his first catch of the ball game.
And I suspect from an Edmonton point of view, they're just trying to give Trey Ford a couple of quick, easy reads, get the ball out of his hands, make things simple here, and just short pass to Gittens, but not even close to getting the first down yardage.
Grace hangs this up there. McGee runs over after a 35-yard kick and a flag on the play. Well, it's quite the opposite half for Nathan Rourke, wasn't it?
Yeah, Nathan Rourke seemed to just get better and better as that half went on. He was in a groove, in rhythm early, moving the football, completing passes, and the chunks of yardage just seemed to kind of pick up as that half went on. They found the end zone a couple of times en route to that 24-7 lead. There you see only 3 incompletions among 22 attempts for Nathan Rourke in the opening 30 minutes of this ballgame.
On their 6 possessions in the first half: punt, field goal, TD, interception, touchdown for BC. They pick up this flag. Kick was in bounds. Start on the 33. Rourke on the run again. Finds Hatcher. They've done a good job getting Rourke out to his right. And he's found someone almost every single time. That one goes for 18.
Yeah, I mean, the MO for BC hasn't changed at all in this football game. I mean, how many times have we seen it? Nathan Rourke looks to hand off to James Butler. Either hands off to Butler, pulls the ball, gets the outside, completes a short, quick hitter.
Hey, if it keeps working, why change it?
Yeah, if it ain't broke.
This time it'll be Butler. And Butler takes it up midfield. 4.5 for Butler.
We talked a little bit in the first half just about that terrific complement in terms of the offense between James Butler and Nathan Rourke. And you kind of knew with Buck Pierce coming in as head coach, bringing his offensive scheme from Winnipeg, that power downhill running game with Brady Oliveira was kind of where it all started. We're seeing BC do it effectively here with Butler and Rourke working off of that.
100 yards for Butler, and now a few more as he pushes ahead. Won't get the first down. But we've seen Mazzoli come into the game a couple of times here and get the job done on 3rd and short, and now he will trot out onto the field once again. 11 in the gray.
Yeah, the veteran Jeremiah Masoli began his career here in Edmonton. The backup quarterback spent a year here before he and Simone Lawrence were traded together to Hamilton. Both became fixtures there for a number of years.
Masoli needs a yard. Found a path behind some of the big boys, and I believe he's got it. Well, we talked about Nathan Rourke and what he's done against Edmonton. He's not alone. He has company here. Jeremiah Masoli 4-0 as well.
Yeah, pretty impressive for these two Lions quarterbacks. I think maybe a bit of a sense of confidence for the Lions coming here to Commonwealth.
All right, Serezna is down again. We heard what he told Tom Gazzola at halftime. They popped his knee back in, and then he was good to go. And is that what they're attempting to do again?
They told him it was fine. They may have not been completely honest.
Doesn't necessarily look fine right now. They go to work on Serezna again. We will step away from Commonwealth. Welcome back to Edmonton Commonwealth Stadium, where a number of people are now looking at that left leg of Jake Serezna. No progress really being made here. And it's weird if you watch it. He just kind of dives under the pile. Yeah, nothing else really happens.
He's the guy surging low underneath the line. You see him. He seems to come through there fairly clean. Seems to be okay. Then just when you follow at the end of the play, right side of your screen, he pops up. And clearly something's just not right. And if you remember, it was on a short yardage play in the first half where he originally injured the leg, was able to get off under his own power, came back, played the rest of the half, even had that interception. Now we see the cart being sent out to get Jake Serezna.
We mentioned it earlier when he was hurt the first time, and now Metier, we've been told, is out of the game, will not return either. This is through their first 4 games of the year. And this is a team that revamped their defense, kept a couple of big pieces right in the middle, and you're expecting it to take a significant step. But their first interception came today. They've only got 2 sacks. They've only forced 4 turnovers, and they're dead last in all of the key categories.
Yeah, and it was really expected that the defensive line would sort of lead the way for this defense, with Serezna, Brinkman, and Robbie Smith coming over from Toronto, Brandon Barlow coming from Hamilton in the offseason. All veteran guys who have been productive throughout their careers. You know, you add that to what was already a terrific linebacking core led by Niles Morgan and Nick Anderson, but just hasn't all clicked this year. You get a sense of the respect around the league for Jake Serezna, with players from both teams coming out to give their best wishes.
No doubt a devastating blow for an Edmonton team facing a significant climb here in the second half, and hopefully it's not too long-term for Jake Serezna. As we mentioned, it happened earlier in the game. Don't want to mess around with it this time, right?
Yeah,
clearly
exactly.
Something is wrong. Go get it looked at.
Yeah, defensive line that already without Robbie Smith. We mentioned he was put on the 6-game injured list this week. Serezna going down. We'll expect to see the former Lion, Francis Bemy, taking over most of those reps at defensive tackle.
Will be a first down on the Edmonton 49 for the Lions. Bemy in there to start this one. Butler, spin move. Takes it down to the Edmonton 45 as his great afternoon continues. Almost 150 yards of total offense for James Butler.
And this Leaves Edmonton again a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter on that defensive line. Taking 295-pound Jake Serezna out of the lineup. Bentley probably about 20 pounds lighter.
Rourke. End zone shot. Hatcher stumbles at the 5. There's a flag on the play as Hatcher takes it down inside the 5. That'll give him a 100-yard game, 41 yards there.
Illegal contact. Edmonton number 25. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Almost a house call for Hatcher. 300-yard game for Rourke. And the Lions knocking on the door.
Well, and you knew the deep shot was going to come, as the Lions have been attacking with quick hitters repeatedly, having all sorts of success. Defense kind of overcommitting on the underneath stuff before the ball was thrown. Opens the lane for Rourke to go deep.
Back to Butler. And this time he is stopped. Miles Morgan in the middle of the defense there, getting some help, I think, from Cordell Jackson.
A nice read there from Nathan Rourke. Terrell Ford sort of chasing across the formation to try and get there.
Hatcher had a 150-yard game earlier in the campaign. Second and goal from the Edmonton 3. Butler stands in to the left of Rourke. Rourke looking to his right, throws, and that one will not get there. Upright, gets in the way.
Yeah, always a challenge where you're, you know, we talk about it sometimes coming out of your own end, that you don't want to have to deal with the uprights, that you only work part of the field. And here you see exactly why, going the other way. 13th man.
Makes the big play, forces third down. And they'll keep this offense on the field, trying to finish this drive off. Rourke, quarterback, keeper. Can he get there? No. Edmonton's defense makes a play. Turnover on downs. Everything seemed to be going right for the BC Lions so far here this evening. Not that time. Elks stand strong.
A huge play there from the Edmonton Elks defense. And watch the read and the flow here from the dynamic duo at linebacker. Nick Anderson, number 48, is going to get outside, force the play in. He takes on the block, gets contained, funnels it in. You see Niles Morgan there to fill. A number of other Elks defenders getting in on the play.
Trey Ford stands in his own end zone. Down the field, Julian Grant, no, broken up. Well, you came over, made a play on the ball.
Yeah, fantastic play by the second-year free safety, Christophe Beaulieu. Starts off working to his left, has to come back right. As Ford thinks he's going to have Julian Grant down the middle of the field. A nice recovery on the play from the Laval product, Beaulieu.
Lots of shots down the field from Ford, but nothing connecting just yet. Now he's in trouble. Flag flies. He's on the run. He dumps it off near sideline to Rankin. There's a flag in the end zone.
I wondered if there might have been contact up high on Trey Ford as he tried to duck around would-be tacklers here.
This might end up being a safety if it's a hold in the end zone.
Yeah.
Holding. Edmonton number 61. The foul occurred in goal with the ball in goal. This will award a safety to BC.
So things go from bad to worse for Killam and his Elks.
Mark Evans, the left guard, was the one flagged for the hold on the play. He's matched up against Tomasi Lalile at defensive tackle. Lalile just gets the inside on him. Bull rush and then a rip to the inside. Evans loses him a little bit with the quarterback right there. Puts the clutches on from behind.
After the safety to be kicked away from the 20. McGee takes it just inside the Lion 25. McGee staying on his feet almost to midfield before he's taken down by Kenneth Logan Jr. Nathan Rourke, another 300-yard game here today, added to his leading total.
And Nathan Rourke really looks like, now that he's sort of starting to put together a bit of a string of games in Buck Pierce's offense. You know, as we said, he missed a couple of games due to injury and so on, but he has looked very comfortable at the helm of this offense here today.
Quickly, Hatcher spins his way ahead. That might be first down territory again with his 7th catch on his 7th target of the game.
And so great to see a healthy Keon Hatcher in this BC Lions offense in 2025. Get a couple of blocks set up in front of him. Kind of an extension or variation of the hitch or bubble screen game there to Hatcher.
Well, I mentioned it earlier. He'd only caught 49% of the passes thrown in his direction coming into this game. He's a perfect 7 for 7 tonight. Mazzoli, short yardage, just short. And Mazzoli sort of climbs over the pile. Needed to find the Edmonton 46. And that will be enough for a Lions first down.
And again, you saw the stats at halftime, but just the sheer domination in time of possession for the BC Lions in this football game. You throw in a couple injuries for Edmonton on defense where they can't spell guys off. This Edmonton D will be exhausted as this third quarter wears on.
Right now, time of possession is about 27 minutes to 11 in favor of the Lions. So well over 2/3 of the game, Edmonton's defense has had to been on the field.
Yeah, and unreal. And again, you take out Jake Ceresno, which means your D-line rotation is going to be that much more limited. You take Royce Metier out of the lineup, which causes a shuffle in the back end. Shaylin Garnes has gone to safety. Kenneth Logan, who's playing a ton of special teams, is now playing every snap on defense at nickel.
Flags fly here. Rourke fumbles as he goes down. This is against Edmonton. The penalties likely remain BC ball.
Offside. Edmonton number 91. 5-yard penalty. Result in a first down.
Brinkman.
A pretty big collision on that play. Just keeping an eye on Keon Hatcher and Nick Anderson here. Watch. Anderson is going to step up. Hatcher comes in to block. off the edge here, and you got it downhill. Nick Anderson. Both these guys kind of rocked by the shot.
Here's a look at the lopsided time of possession in this game. Work on the first down. Back to Butler, and Butler seems to be getting 5 or 6 whenever he wants.
Yeah, and again, it's going to get tougher and tougher for the Elks to defend as guys are getting tired. They got the big bodies leaning on them. James Butler and the BC offensive line going to work a little bit here.
Butler just 1 yard away from a season high. I'll give it to him there. Won't be enough for a first down, so likely chance for Sean White to extend his field goal streak.
You see Francis Bemy, a first rounder a couple years ago for the BC Lions. Moving on to Edmonton this season. Again, getting lots of reps in place of the injured Jake Seresna.
Bemy 9th overall back in 23 for the Lions. 36-yard attempt for Sean White. And you can give him 24 in a row. He remains perfect on the season. He's 11 for 11 to start the year in his old stomping grounds here in Edmonton. It's been a tough day for Metier. He's working the iPad now, injured earlier in this game. Big on the field and big off the field in the community. For more on that, let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
Yeah, Dustin, a good point there. Royce Metier has become the Elks ambassador at the Stollery Children's Hospital. Every Wednesday of a home game week for the Elks, Metier brings one of his teammates down to the Stollery Children's Hospital, goes and visits with the kids, plays games, signs autographs, takes pictures, any little thing to kind of take their mind off of what they're going through at that moment. Metier says it humbles him, and he's really proud to be an ambassador. Anything to make things a little bit brighter for some kids going through some tough times.
It's a great program, and good of Metier to be down there. Obviously a tough place to be, but a wonderful facility here in Edmonton. Trey Ford, can they find something in this offense? Gets that one away. Incomplete, hit as he throws, and that'll bring up second down. Ford is 3 of 11.
Yeah, this is the challenge again. I mean, they haven't had the run game going at all. They're struggling to throw the football, and now they're in a position where they're chasing points in this ball game. And the Lions defense is just pinning their ears back coming after him. He couldn't step into that throw as the pocket collapsed.
I'd like to welcome our viewers joining us on TSN 4 following the MLB draft. I don't know if that thing still goes for 3 days like it used to, but lots of time to follow that. Dunbar was down on a knee. He's up, though, and now a slow jog off the field. If you are just joining us, BC full control here, looking to go to 3-3 on the year, push Edmonton to a distant 1-4 at the bottom of the West. Lions leading 29-7.
I'm a little put off by your lack of commitment in following the latter rounds of the MLB draft.
You know what? It's going to sound sad, but there's a few years when I was working for a baseball team in which I did follow the entire MLB draft. Ford. Julian Grant. That's his first catch of the game, but it goes nowhere. And Edmonton will be forced to kick it away again.
Yeah, and we've seen this a couple of times where the Elks are getting some completions, but nowhere near first down yardage as the rush is getting to Trey Ford before any deep routes have time to develop. He's got to get the ball out. And there's just nothing there.
The net offense in this game is 437 for BC, 98 for Edmonton. Good kick goal. 55-yarder, McGee, far sideline. Can't kick his way any further than the 20. The Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto will take place in Toronto on Sunday, July 20th. Tune in at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on TSN and at TSN Plus.
Well, Nathan Rourke continuing his fine afternoon here for the BC Lions. He's been sharp, confident, accurate, efficient.
4 starts now this season. 3 of them have gone for 300 yards. This guy's having a day as well as Butler takes it out close to the Lions 25. They'll give him 5 yards on the play. That's a new season high for James Butler. Previously 123. I'll put him close to 130 today.
And what the Lions are doing is what the Elks needed to be doing, is establishing the run game, controlling the line of scrimmage. A lot of the things that Trey Ford does most effectively come off of the run game. And we're seeing it with Nathan Rourke, the way he's executing, the time that he's getting because of the success of the ground game. Edmonton just has not had that.
Another man open enough for Rourke to find him. It's McInnes. And that'll be a first down.
Looked like a late flag thrown there.
It's the second catch of the game for McInnes. Kind of a quiet evening for Big 18.
Yeah, you'll see the catch come, but I think Javon Cotoy just to the inside.
Blocking downfield. BC number 86. 10-yard penalty. Be second down.
So Cotoy a little early with the block on an Elks defender. One of the few things that has gone wrong for the BC offense today.
Edmonton's defense trying to get the crowd into this ball game. Second and 15, Cotoy to the bottom of your screen. McInnes and Eberhard in the slot to the right of Nathan Rourke. Little draw. Butler, can he find 15? He will not. Gets below 5. And BC will be forced to kick it away.
Penalty aids the Elks defense here as they get a big stop. This second and long situation.
It's just the second punt of the game by the Lions. Javon Leake waits back on Edmonton's 40, possibly some good field position here for the Elks. Great kick. Leake has to take it at the 30. Looking for the far side of the field. 59-yard kick. Leake takes it all the way across. And there is a flag there as well. Officials trying to sort out this flag. It's going to be against the BC Lions.
Illegal interference. BC number 24 will have the 10 yards at the end of the play, and this is the end of the quarter.
3 quarters in the books. All BC Lions so far on Dinosaur Day here in Edmonton. Those things are hilarious. I was mocking them earlier, but they are funny. 29-7, Lions lead. Well, let's take a look at your stats through 3 quarters. Lions lead 29-7. And if you look at the numbers, it's pretty dominant, isn't it?
Well, the 29-7 might be the most favorable comparison of any statistic on that board. The time of possession tells the story. One team has been able to move the ball, stay on the field, complete passes. And the other team just hasn't been able to sustain drives. A lot of missed opportunities out there for the Elks, but I'll give credit to the BC Lions defense as well, as you know, they've othered Edmonton in this game, and it's just such an uphill battle for Trey Ford at this point, right? Like, where you're in a situation where you have to drop back and throw the football. The entire defense knows you're dropping back to throw the football.
They're going to hand it off here, and that's going to be a loss. Not even back to the line of scrimmage. Josh Woods, recently returning to the lineup, makes a big play for BC there.
Yeah, Woods in the lineup, but really still working his way back from last season's knee injury, gradually taking more and more reps on that BC defense for coordinator Mike Benavides.
BC's defense coming into the game today did allow the fewest yards in the league at 320, but they've allowed about 26 points per game so far. Not likely here tonight. Ford running for his life. He's in trouble. He's taken down. Wants the face mask on Betts. Be his 3rd sack of the season.
Again, you'll see the speed of Matthew Betts in pursuit. Tomasi Lalule in there as well.
$17-yard loss. And a 3rd and 28. Cody Grace got to kick it away again. McGee hustling over. That bounces out of bounds. Just inside the 40 after a 51-yard kick. Well, lots to talk about Rourke, but James Butler having his best game of the season as well.
Yeah, Butler's been absolutely terrific. Particularly working in the run game between the tackles. Well, that nice cut to the outside there, but just picking up those tough yards. And quite frankly, it's the work that James Butler is doing in the run game has allowed Nathan Rourke to do a lot of what he's able to do, particularly throwing the ball from the perimeter, moving the pocket around a little bit. So much of the passing game is based off of the success of that ground attack.
25 touches in this game for Butler. There's 26. And he's eventually held on to by Kobe Williams. 6 more yards, though.
Butler spent the last couple years with the Hamilton Tiger Cats after 2 years with BC.
Second and 4 from the BC 44. And whistles on this one before the play can get off. Flag on the far side of the field.
Procedure, BC number 61. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Kanahuna. Cody Fajardo is warming up on the Edmonton sideline. Is it about time now, do you think?
Yeah, I think for a number of reasons. I mean, one of the things that's interesting to me is that Edmonton went into last week's game with a plan to give Cody Fajardo some reps, put him in at sort of predetermined intervals for a series here and there in that ball game. They won last week. Gave Trey Ford a chance to see some things from the sidelines.
Rourke gets it to Catoy, and that's another first down for the Lions.
You just feel a little bit in this game where Trey Ford was struggling early on. You wonder why they didn't do the same thing again in this game, is just even give him a chance on the sidelines to have a look. And I know some people were critical of the move when it was made last week. Will say I have no issue with them doing it. Cody Fajardo is not just a veteran quarterback who led his team to first place in the division last year, won the Grey Cup the year before that. Like, Cody Fajardo is here for a reason. You keep him ready to play. But also it gives Trey Ford an opportunity as he's learning a new offense and, quite frankly, still developing, growing into being a starting quarterback. Gives him an opportunity sometimes to see the veteran running the offense, but also to look and see what the defense is doing on the sidelines and maybe put him in a better position to succeed. So, again, I'm, not saying sit down Trey Ford or anything like that. A young quarterback needs to play to grow, and that's kind of where we're at in Trey Ford's career. But at times when you've got an option here to allow Trey time to see some things, maybe use that option.
Rourke on the run to his left. Catoy stays on his feet. That's a big man who took a pretty heavy blow, but got a few yards out of it. I think you make a good point on last year. Trey was like 8 for 8 when they brought Cody Fajardo in. Today he was struggling, and they didn't decide to bring him into the game.
And again, sometimes just whatever the formula is, however.
Well, clearly last week was part of a plan.
And part of a plan, again, in a game that you won. And Trey Ford played very well. And so, why change the plan when it was successful?
Well, this has been successful today. Butler up the middle all day long. 7 more. That's 150 yards rushing for James Butler.
And you'll see the offensive line going to work here. Woodruff at left guard, Pearson in at center, Anu Una at right guard. Just moving bodies.
Una there, 61. 6th overall pick in 2024 draft.
Yeah, he started the season on the injured list, made his first start of the season last week in Montreal.
Rourke, Hatcher quickly again. How many times have we seen that today? 8. That's the 8th catch of the game for Hatcher. Well over 100 yards.
And Keon Hatcher really established himself as one of the top receivers in the Canadian Football League. Battled injury through the first part of last year. And I don't know if he was really at full speed at any point last season, but really, you see 122 yards on the day. Keon Hatcher looking more like himself here in 2025.
Butler, just a couple of yards this time. But you mentioned Hatcher looking more and more like himself, and then Berryhill has emerged as this deep threat that can do some other things. I think Catoy is just getting stronger and stronger, and we haven't even mentioned Justin McInnes, who had one of the best seasons a Canadian receivers ever had.
He just led the league in receiving.
Yeah.
And as an aside, like, how cool would it have been if you could have had the Canadian who led the league in receiving and the Canadian who led the league in rushing as the 2 finalists for most outstanding?
That would have been kind of cool.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I chat about this actually with the commissioner a few weeks ago. Just like, you know what? Give us 3 finalists.
I've said it for years.
3 finalists, regardless of where they play, for for the award?
Yes.
3 nominees.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. You can start with a bigger pool of nominees, but narrow it to 3 finalists. Yeah, I mean, these are usually like week 20 or week 21 conversations, but it's coming up now, and yeah, the awards format is one of those things in the Canadian Football League that, yeah, we've done it this way forever, but it's time to change it.
Well, I'll say, I think there might have been an appetite for it a little bit. Yeah, I was chatting a couple weeks ago with him, so we'll see what happens. Mazzoli again. That should be a BC Lions first down. This has been one of the most dominant time of possession games I think I've ever called. We're about 24 more minutes of ball control for the Lions in this game.
And no sign of slowing down. James Butler is just munching up yards in the run game. Nathan Rourke nickel and diming it in the passing game. He's just been money in terms of accuracy. Jeremiah Masoli has been perfect with that short yardage unit.
They are going to bring out the chains here. See Noah Taylor say it's not enough. But it was. BC Lions offensive line celebrated the first. They don't get to do that very often. So the big boys there celebrating that first down. 10th play of this drive. 28 first downs for BC to just 6 for Edmonton.
And just chewing up the clock. When you look at the way the second half started, the one thing that Edmonton had in their favor was time, right? In the Canadian Football League, where there are so many different ways to score, when you've got a whole half, it almost doesn't matter how much you're down.
Rourke gets it away. There is a flag as he threw that ball. It's a hold against the Lions.
Holding, BC number 61. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Anahuna there. The guilty party. Edmonton brought some heat, a little bit too much to handle that time.
We mentioned Una, first-round pick a year ago out of the University of Windsor. We've seen Devin Varasek in Hamilton, the number 2 overall pick. Windsor Lancers becoming a little bit of a factory under head coach John Paul Cercelli, producing some great pro prospects.
The hold makes it a 1st and 20. Back to Butler. Runs into Nick Anderson. Anderson with his 9th tackle of the game, had his first sack of the season as well.
Yeah, and we know Nick Anderson, he and Niles Morgan are a couple of tackling machines over there on that Elks defense. But, you know, the fact is, if you're Mark Killam, you actually want to see these guys making less tackles, because you don't want the defense to be on the field nearly as much as they have been.
Rourke will need 13, or it'll be a field goal attempt for Sean White. Butler on the draw. He stopped about 3 yards short. And they will bring out Sean White. Streak currently at 24. And another short kick for White. About 26-yarder. Perfect on the season thus far. Had that winner last week. And this is against BC, so it'll back Sean White up a little bit.
Procedure. BC number 61. 5-yard penalty.
They're talking about the draft and mentioned he was a 2024 pick. How about Alfred in Calgary?
Yeah.
First overall pick this year. Oh, what a cheat code that kid is.
Well, you know, I took a look. Dave Naylor did a nice piece for Sports Center this week talking about the success of the top 3 picks in the draft. All 3 guys getting lots of playing time, off to a great start. It's not that often that first-round CFL picks win Rookie of the Year, but we could be talking about some of these guys when it gets to awards time.
Sean White knocks another one through, remains perfect on the season. 32-7 BC. Trey Ford chatting with his brother on the Edmonton sideline as he'll watch the rest of this one. Some advice from his twin bro, Cody Fajardo, will take over for the final 4 minutes of this one. You mentioned it earlier, a veteran guy who still playing pretty good football recently. And when he did get in last week, he did go 4 for 4.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation because, again, like a week ago, nobody was talking about who should be starting at quarterback, right? Trey Ford played great. It's getting Trey Ford to be consistent.
Fajardo connects with Karis Jackson. That's his 2nd career reception. Had one last week.
And a similar situation when you're BC is you can allow short completions, come forward and make plays. At this point, you just can't let them get huge chunk plays on you when you're the Lions.
Second and 6 for Fajardo. Deep drop. Taken down. Could not escape. Covington. 2nd sack of the season. The quick 2-and-out. Cody Grace will come in to kick it away again. It's the 8th 2-and-out of the ball game for Edmonton. We've hit the 3-minute warning at Commonwealth. Cody Fajardo can't get away. Welcome back to Edmonton, where Cody Fajardo will be staying on the field. A tripping penalty, the call here.
Yes, Christian Covington coming from the right side of your screen, now down the hash mark on the loop. Sticks out the right foot. In his attempt to bring down the quarterback.
You know what it feels like. You told me you were called for tripping.
I was once called for, yes, early in my career.
You use your hand, though?
I did, yeah. I kind of missed my block and need a little help.
Fajardo, far side. Flail! Oh, look out! That was savage! Oh, boy. Deontay Williams. There was a roughing the passer penalty originally. And that was a heavy hit. Is that Arkell Smith again, man?
Well,
Arkell Smith has had a rough ride this season.
Well, it was a Deontay Williams hit on Smith in week 1.
That's right.
Here we'll take a look at the initial penalty call. Matthew Betts called for
driving a guy into Cody Fajardo, I guess.
Putting his man on skates and running him into the quarterback.
333-pound Martez Ivy.
Arkell Smith, I'm sure, has, through 6 weeks, seen absolutely enough of Deontay Williams.
I mean, it took a helmet right to the head here. Arkell Smith is being removed from the game. They'll get an extra look at him.
And you wonder, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a penalty too, right?
Absolutely.
fans just saw this hit up on the Jumbotron for the first time, and they are not happy.
We have 2 fouls on the play, both by BC. We have illegal block, hands to the face, BC number 91, and we have a major foul spearing, BC number 8. We're going to go up 25 yards with the first down.
So again, the call on Betts. He got his hands up high in the pass rush against Ivy. There you see that helmet-to-helmet contact there on the hit from Deontay Williams.
Markel Smith into the tent for Edmonton. The only first downs they've had here have been picked up by a penalty. Fajardo, deep shot, laying one out there. Giddens goes back to it, and he's got it. Touchdown, Edmonton late. Curly Giddens, third of the year. This one from Cody Fajardo.
Deep shots on which they couldn't connect earlier. The Elks get one late here. Fajardo gets the protection. And Curly Giddens goes and makes a play, stealing that one from Ronald Kent.
It's been a slow start to the season for Curly Giddens. Just 10 catches coming into this game. That's his second one, but 3 of them have gone for touchdowns. These teams will meet again in October in Vancouver.
And Lions obviously still possessing a pretty good lead in this ball game, but knowing one of the big issues for them last week in Montreal is the penalties.
Yeah.
I'm sure for Buck Pierce, he won't be thrilled to see them essentially give up a heavily penalty-aided touchdown here late in the ball game.
And prior to that, Cody Fajardo deep shot. It was all penalty-aided. Fajardo, first passing touchdown as a member of the Elks.
And there's the man of the moment, Curly Giddens Jr. Coming up with a big TD for the Elks. He's going to work towards the corner here. Ball's a little bit underthrown. Giddens makes a terrific play to come back underneath it. You see Ronald Kent eyeing up the interception. Giddens working back to the football, steps in front of him to steal it for the major.
Blanchard will look for the onside. If they can get it and score a touchdown, then do that 2 more times. Got a game. This one hops in. Gatoy hangs on. He's had a great game. He's got 6 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown. Everybody celebrating from start to finish for the BC Lions. 32-14. Full control. CFL will be back with Thursday night football action. Argos play the Alouettes. Coverage gets underway 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN.
A couple of teams that opened the season against one another. The Alouettes winning that one. Argos looking to try and get themselves back in that race in the East.
Chase Bryce into the game for the Lions. Here's your job. Hand it off to James Butler, right? Worked all day for Rourke.
Yeah, new
Bryce
quarterback.
will do the same, yeah.
Same game plan.
See a little bit of Bryce sprinkled in here and there.
Yeah, pretty good battle between he and Jeremiah Masoli in training camp as to who would open the regular season as the number 2 behind Nathan Rourke. With Rourke going down early, it was Masoli who got starts in back-to-back games.
Tidy evening for Nathan Rourke. One interception went off the helmet of one of his own offensive linemen. Outside of that, 26 of 30, 345 couple touchdowns. And they'll punt this away. Just a third punt of the game for Meyer.
Yeah, that speaks volumes. You know, kind of goes along with the time of possession story in this ball game. You know, that the Lions have moved the football, they've put up those points without a lot of big plays.
Yeah, the longest play of the game is 41 yards. Time of possession right now is 42 to 15. Carl Meyer from midfield. Low kick. And that one out at about the 15. Mike Benavides. Well, a little bit more on Benny. Let's send it back down to Tom Gazzola.
Mike Benavides back in the fold with the BC Lions, Dusty and Dwayne, and he says he's having a ton of fun. Obviously, on a night like tonight, certainly with the way his defense is playing, but he says a lot of it has to do with Buck Pierce, who brought him in as the defensive coordinator, bumping him up from special teams consultant. Benavides said that Pierce reminds him a little bit of himself, says he's a tough SOB. Those are his words, guys. And he really likes what he's got on his staff. He likes his players, and certainly with a game like tonight, Benavides enjoying everything that he's watching.
Held Edmonton to 14 points in that first game of the year. Have them sitting at 14 again. Yeah, that first game of the year was 31-14. BC, and right now we're sitting at 32-14, so much of the same.
Yeah, well, you look at the success that Benny is having here now, and you know, the guy started his coaching career back in 2000, so a quarter of a century coaching here in the Canadian Football League. Previously a head coach in BC. Never had a losing season, never missed the playoffs.
Fajardo scrambling around, and now Cody's just going to slide. Picks up the first down. Capable of doing that himself. Timeout, Edmonton.
Cody Fajardo seeing an opportunity here. A pretty good slide.
Benavides' defense only giving up 117 yards of offense to Edmonton in this one. 400 more yards of offense in this game. Not 400, but 400 more for the Lions. Fajardo has a completion. That's middlemost, his first catch as a member of the Double E.
Yeah, middlemost. Very good special teams players out of McMaster University. Would have been with Mark Killam in Calgary the last few years. Moving with his coach here to Northern Alberta.
Fajardo, Gittins, got it. Midfield first down. And Edmonton will head into a bye. And then on the road against the Riders.
Cody Fajardo's looking to make the most of the playing time he's getting here late in the game, already with a touchdown pass.
Pressure coming, Fajardo. Looking for Javon Leake. You see Leake say, should have had that. First incompletion of the game for Fajardo, who has 67 yards, which is close to double what Trey had. But once again, late in the game.
Yeah, different situation.
Tough to compare anything. But with a bye week coming up, lots of time for conversations around this city.
I was going to say, there a little too much time for speculation, yeah, maybe for a coach's liking.
Fajardo in trouble again. Flag flies. He's on the run. And we'll see if this one's coming back. And it is. It's going to be a hold.
What's he want, Tommy? What's he want?
It's an interesting conversation, though, right? I made Trey Ford your starting quarterback.
Well, you know, the
Edmonton
sports
number
talk
67.
radio guys tested.
I have a show myself tomorrow morning.
Oh, interesting.
3 hours to discuss this, I guess. But for Trey, you know, he's been showing signs of improvement.
Yeah.
Not this week. You know, great game last week. Had a perfect quarterback rating last week. The discussion will be how long can you go without putting together consecutive wins before something would need to change, right? So
yeah, no, that's it. As I said earlier, what you want to see from Trey Ford is a level of consistency, right? You recognize there are going to be some ups and downs along the way, but from such a high last week to the real serious struggles today, and against a team that they're seeing for the second time this year, you know, that I don't think that they're necessarily a lot of things that they wouldn't have been prepared for from the perspective of the BC defense.
Fajardo looking for Dunbar, and that will be incomplete on third down. We're going to give the Lions the win in this one with 23 seconds left. Let's take a look at the updated West standings. Big win for BC here. Keeps them right in the thick of it. And now Edmonton looking way up at the rest of that, and a great battle at the top.
Yeah, terrific game. Obviously, you got to see that battle for first place yesterday. The resurgent Calgary Stampeders. You know, tough circumstances. I know certainly the delay of that game by a day would have impacted both teams, but you just got to feel like that's going to have a little more of an impact on the road team than on the home team, but the Stampeders able to overcome that.
Victory formation here for the Lions. What's the big storyline coming out of this one then? BC looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, you look for the positives, and it's the BC Lions, and just an absolutely dominant performance for 60 minutes. Nathan Rourke was rock solid from the beginning of this ball game. He was just on, and you know, some shades playing in a new offense of 2022 Nathan Rourke. He's just on fire, and it kind of overshadows a smothering defensive performance for the Leos as well in this ball game. But big win for Buck Pierce's team against a division rival.
Best defensive performance of the year from the BC Lions. The Lions head home next week for a stiff test against Trevor Harris and the Riders. That should be a fun one. 49 will have that one for you next weekend. Edmonton with question marks heading into a bye week as they can't deliver on Dinosaur Night here at Commonwealth Stadium. Rourke, remarkable again. BC wins. Sports Center is next with Jermaine Franklin or Dyke.